Hello, my friends. Welcome to English Spark. Take a moment and imagine something unusual. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that oil has suddenly disappeared from the world. Your car would no longer start. Airplanes would stop flying across the sky. Most plastic objects around you, your phone, your computer, even parts of your clothes, would slowly disappear. Even the roads beneath your feet would begin to break apart. Because oil is not simply fuel. Oil is one of the hidden forces that built the modern world. It powers transportation. It supports global trade. It fuels industries. And it quietly exists inside thousands of everyday objects that most people rarely stop to think about. Yet the global oil industry, worth trillions of dollars today, began with something surprisingly small. A wooden tower, a risky experiment, and one man who believed he could pull energy from deep inside the earth. But the story of oil did not begin with drilling machines or giant companies. Long before modern industry existed, humans had already encountered oil in a much simpler way. Thousands of years ago, people living in regions such as Mesopotamia and ancient Persia noticed something strange in the land. Dark liquid sometimes appeared naturally on the surface of the ground. It slowly seeped from cracks in the earth, forming thick pools that smelled strong and burned easily when touched by fire. To ancient people, this mysterious substance seemed almost magical. They began experimenting with it. Some civilizations used it to waterproof boats, so wooden ships would not absorb water and rot. Others used it as a kind of glue in construction, helping bind stones and bricks together. In some places, it was even used to fuel fire or provide light. But for thousands of years, oil remained limited. It appeared only in small natural amounts. No one imagined that enormous reservoirs were hidden deep beneath the earth. So human societies continued relying on other sources of energy. Wood was the most common fuel. Later, coal helped power the early stage of the Industrial Revolution. And when people needed light after sunset, they depended on something that might surprise us today: whale oil. In the early 19th century, whale oil was one of the most important fuels for lamps in Europe and North America. Cities were growing, nighttime activity was increasing, people needed reliable light. Whale oil burned bright and clean, making it ideal for lamps. But there was a problem. Whales were extremely difficult and dangerous to hunt. As cities expanded and demand for light increased, whale hunting intensified. Large numbers of whales were killed each year. Some historians believe whale populations were approaching collapse. Then something unexpected happened. A new source of energy appeared, and it would change everything. In the year 1859, in a quiet town called Titusville in the American state of Pennsylvania, a man named Edwin Drake attempted something most people believed was impossible. Drake believed oil could be extracted from deep underground by drilling into the earth. At that time, most people thought this idea was ridiculous. They believed oil only existed where it naturally seeped to the surface. Drilling for oil seemed like a waste of time. But Drake continued. He built a wooden drilling tower. He used a steam-powered engine to drive a metal drill into the ground. For weeks, the drilling continued slowly. Many people expected the project to fail. Then, at a depth of just over 20 meters, something remarkable happened. Oil began rising from the ground. That moment marked the birth of the modern oil industry. News spread quickly. Investors, workers, and entrepreneurs to Pennsylvania. Everyone hoped to discover oil and build fortunes. oil wells began appearing across the region. Within only a few years, the quiet countryside had transformed into a booming energy frontier. What makes this moment even more surprising is how small that first well actually was, compared with modern oil wells that reach several kilometers below the Earth's surface. Drake's well was incredibly shallow, yet that small well opened the door to an industry that would transform the world. At first, oil was mainly used to produce kerosene for lamps. Kerosene lighting quickly replaced well oil. It was cheaper, easier to produce, and more reliable. Ironically, this discovery helped reduce whale hunting and allowed whale populations to recover. But oil's true power had not yet appeared. That moment arrived when a new invention began transforming daily life: the automobile. At the beginning of the 20th century, cars began appearing on roads across the United States and Europe. Unlike horse-drawn transportation, automobiles required fuel. Gasoline, refined from oil, became that fuel. As automobiles spread rapidly, the demand for oil exploded. Factories required energy. Ships transporting goods required fuel. Airplanes entering the skies required fuel. Oil became the lifeblood of modern transportation. During this time, one businessman recognized the opportunity more clearly than almost anyone else. His name was John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil. Through efficiency, innovation, and relentless strategy, Standard Oil grew into one of the most powerful companies in history. At one point, the company controlled nearly 90% of oil refining in the United States. Rockefeller eventually became the owner of the richest individuals in human history. His fortune was built largely on oil. As the 20th century continued, oil became even more important. It powered ships. It powered tanks. It powered airplanes. During both World War I and World War II, access to oil became a critical strategic priority. Countries with reliable oil supply held enormous advantages. Energy had become geopolitics, and oil was at the center of it. After the wars ended, global demand for oil continued to grow rapidly. Cities expanded, air travel increased, international trade accelerated. Entire industries began depending on petroleum. But oil is used for far more than fuel. Petroleum is involved in the creation of thousands of everyday materials: plastics, synthetic fabrics, medical equipment, cosmetics, fertilizers, packaging. Many objects around us today exist partly because of petroleum-based materials. Scientists estimate that more than 6,000 products are connected to oil. Today, the oil industry spans the entire globe. Major oil-producing countries include the United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Canada, and Iraq. The Middle East contains some of the largest oil reserves on Earth. This is one reason the region plays such an important role in global energy markets. The global oil economy supports millions of workers and fuels industries worth trillions of dollars. But as we look toward the future, the world may once again entering a period of energy transition. Many countries are investing in renewable energy such as solar power and wind power. Electric vehicles are becoming more common. New technologies are slowly changing how energy is produced and used. Yet even as these changes happen, the influence of oil remains enormous, because for more than a century, oil helped build the modern world. It powered transportation. It fueled global trade. It helped create industries that transformed daily life. And when we look at the full story, something fascinating becomes clear. For thousands of years, oil existed quietly beneath the earth. Hidden, invisible, untouched. Then human curiosity discovered it. Technology unlocked it. And a dark liquid buried deep underground became the energy that powered modern civilization. The next time you see a car driving down the road, an airplane crossing the sky, or a plastic object resting quietly on a table, remember that many of these things exist because humans learned how to use the energy hidden beneath the earth. Oil is not just fuel. Oil is one of the forces that shape the modern world. Thank you for joining English Spark. Stay curious and keep discovering hidden stories behind everyday things.